Remember back when you carried a camera with film on all your vacations, you had to wait until the pictures came back to relive the experience. And the image you saw often paled in comparison to the fun you had. Well, fast forward to our camera phones, which open up a world of possibility. In our continuing Help Yourself series, we get tips on maxing out your pics with filters. Sometimes when I'm taking a picture on my phone, I get so overwhelmed that I can't stop myself from using these filters. There's so many of them. Do you have any tips for us? This is Reagan Rule, professional photographer.
I love Instagram. So for me, I have a couple techniques, and I love some of their filters for saving photos and for making my photos really pop. The first one that we have is actually an outside image, and I do love color, but I don't want to go too overboard with the color because you can see when people oversaturate and it looks really, really, really fake.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually have this photo here that I took outside in my grandma's house. And it's blue skies, really, really pretty blue.
Yeah, it is gorgeous.
And the light's coming through the moss. So I really want to try to pop the moss color and the sunlight. So I just went into Instagram and I just pulled my saturation to the point where, you know, it was really, really strong, but not too oversaturated.
But is there a filter for that, or do you have to manually do that?
This is actually a manual tool in your Instagram. When you were in Instagram, you have two different options, which kind of gives you a little more control. So if you're in taking a photo, let's go to one here. Let's select that one, and you're going to go to next. You have, I don't know if you can see it. This is actually a photo of Amy and I from earlier, but there's a little tool in the corner,
mm-hmm.
and so it looks like a little wrench. So you're going to tap that, and it actually has all the manual controls, so you can adjust your straightness, you can adjust your brightness, and that's where I just go in and do all the manual controls. For filters, I usually use filters when I'm doing selfies. Mm-hmm. And then I usually pick,
Now, what are the filters? Is it just kind of a preset? They've taken some of those settings and then set them to kind of give it a look or a feel?
Mm-hmm. What they've done is they've made it really easy for you. So if you want to be a little more tan, if you want to be a little more even, skin tone, a little more artsy, they have all these great preset filters, and you can just go through and, depending on your lighting situations, pick one that really fits for your image.
And I like, for different styles of photography, you said some of them are better suited for certain filters. What do we have that's good for maybe outdoors, black and white?
Well, my favorites, I usually generally go towards, and I always forget the names, really, to be honest with you, because there are so many. If I'm in here, I usually like to go with something that's more of a Juno, or even the Amaro. I'm probably going to say it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, they've added a whole bunch. Crema's really nice. It's something that you need to explore and see, because, like I said, it depends on if I've been on vacation or not and how much of a tan I have. So,
but indoors may be softer, and outdoors you can use the things that really blow it up and enhance the brightness.
Enhance the color, exactly. So you want to do something that either pops the background or pops your skin tone, so that you have that nice color.
Let's take our selfie and put some filters on it.
Okay, cool. So let's go back.
Don't they look cute?
I love it. Do you want to use the one that we already did?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll use this one. Okay, so actually this is
I like
a
that
good
one better.
This is one that we use with the Lumi, actually.
Uh-huh. No wonder I liked it better.
So we're gonna go in here. I wouldn't do black and white, because since we have a white background, you've got such a blown out,
mm-hmm.
With our skin tone and everything else, it's just gonna be too blown out. Lark is nice. It's a nice even skin tone, but again, it's kind of light for me. So I probably would go in. Ludwig's nice, but if you do find one, this is another trick too. Ludwig or Mayfair. Mayfair is nice because you get the color. You're going to see the color on here, but I would go back into my tools and you have a contrast button.
Mm-hmm.
Pull that contrast down.
Yeah.
And that's going to make you have the color, but it's not going to have that sharp contrast, which might not be so flattering for skin tones. So that's another thing too, is if you do find a filter that you like, you can also go back into your manual settings and just tweak it a little bit.
What's interesting too, if you have different people with different type filter aesthetics, because you're darker, I like to be lighter, and you're kind of stuck when you filter it with everybody getting it.
It gets a little tricky. This one's actually, I do have to say, I use this one a lot. This is X Pro 2. And as you can see, you get a really nice saturation, your red lipstick pops, your hair looks good, it's got nice color. Our skin tone's fairly even, so I will probably go with one of these
Okay.
for our selfie. So.
Very nice. And then one last thing that you said that kind of struck me was you were saying that people kind of develop a style based on the filters they have. It's kind of their look that they seem to like.
Exactly. You're going to gravitate towards the, you're going to find a couple things that really pop for you. And so, and I know I get stuck in the same filter. I don't really explore any of the other ones because I like those, one or two that I use all the time.
And that's just Instagram.
So,
Every photo
exactly.
program has its own filter. So a lot to explore, a lot of fun, and it's great that you can do it anytime, anywhere. Thanks very much, Reagan Rule.
Thank you.